Okay, we've got some sunshine. Yeah, I'll do that again. Okay, we've got some sunshine. It's beautiful and warm. It's gorgeous. Might have to actually take my fleece off. Way in June. Okay, I'm going to do a little test here. We got the CG035, and I really love this as a small GPS quadcopter. It is awesome. As you can see, it's unfortunately got tigeritis. It used to come with these props, but once it's been in a hangar, that's where it winds up going. This is to give it a fair test. I haven't got the original props off my Bugs 3, so I'm going to test them all on the same props. I'm going to do some just kick out tests on them, and then I'm actually going to fly them, see them for fun, see what the difference is. We've got the Bugs 3, which is quad I absolutely adore, and we've got the Bugs 8, which is another one I really adore, and that's exactly the same as a Bugs 6, apart from this top canopy is different on the Bugs 6. That's all I can see, and I've never heard any difference. So I've left them all as stock as I can. Normally I strip them down. This one I strip down completely, and there's a whole video on there. I'll do links to all the videos I'm going to talk about during down in description, so have a look. And the Bugs 8 has been Bugs 3, sorry, has been altered as well, because that now takes the camera off the Bugs 8. So all sorts of things. I'm also going to check the Bugs 3 with a 3-cell, because that's the only one that will do a 3-cell. The other ones are strictly 2-cell. So let's just give this one a go, and I'm just going to see what it's like fun wise with and without the GPS on. Okay, we've got to wait for these two to go off, and that will give us GPS. And if I put that there, we get GPS and altitude hold on this one. So it's a really nice, very quiet, very smooth little fly. I absolutely adore it, and I'd be interested to see how it gets up against me Bugs. There we go. So we're all ready to go now. You can arm this in various ways. I usually find the easiest is just like that, and then we're up and away. So this is with GPS and altitude hold on. So if I let go of everything, it should sort of find itself. It's probably, with these trees, it's probably going to take a second just to get itself in the right position. There we go. So now we're holding, sort of thing. And like I say, it's got altitude hold on it as well. So let's just give it a quick whiz around the garden. So even with the GPS on, it's still, I mean, it's no sports fly, but it's quite enjoyable to fly. Ha! I love flying. You probably picked that up around the channel, didn't you? Just so much fun. So now I'm going to take off the altitude hold, as you notice there, and also we've got no GPS either, so we have a much livelier quad now. Much better. And it's weird having the stick center when you've got altitude hold off, because you think it's going to kick back in and it doesn't. So still no sports fly by any means. I didn't even dare do the turn there. I didn't think it was going to make it. That's cool. Yeah, so that gives us an idea of what we're thinking of this one. There we go. So I'm just going to swap now back over to one of the Bugs. I'm going to have to change the props, unfortunately, because those tigeritis props are elusive. You've either got them or you haven't, and it just happens to work that way. There we go. And that's what we wanted to try. Whoa! Does this thing flip? Did you see that? Whoa! Nice! Whoa, big gentle flip there, but the first one was really rapid. I do like it on roll. Really fast, isn't it? Lovely. How cool is that? Nice piece of kit. Perfect. There we go, so we're all ready. I'm not going to run the camera or anything. I'm just literally going to run this in high rates as well. Yeah, I wouldn't say that was as aggressive as the other one. No, definitely not on the pitch. Sounds better. Well, I don't think it's going as fast, to be honest. No, doesn't seem to be. Lovely flyer though, really nice. Oh, I'd be hard pitch. Notice a big difference between those two. I'd be hard pushed, I must admit. I'm going to do it on 3-cell first of all, and I'm pretty sure it would just blow the doors off the other two. I'm pretty confident about that. Which is strange because the motors are exactly the same on the Bugs 8 stroke 6 stroke whatever they call it this week. So I'm a bit confused with that. And if you're watching this at a time when we've sorted out what Bugs 6 and Bugs 8 are, it probably won't mean anything to you, but when they very first brought them out, all the sort of reviewers got Bugs 8 and none of the retailers sell Bugs 8, they all sell Bugs 6, so that's why my comment is the way it is basically. And they are identical in every way apart from this top plate, as I said. Okay, so we're running this with just a little 1500 milliamp hour 3-cell. I'm not even sure it's fully charged. It won't need to be with the Bugs, I can assure you. It'll fly really nicely with this on. There we go. Okay. Yeah, much more aggressive. Definitely much more aggressive. Whoa! That much more aggressive, is it? I love these bugs. Absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. Right, now go and fly properly. That couldn't have been me doing that. It is a little bit of a tight garden to be doing. Right, it does turn okay. It was just me. Lovely. Yeah, the Bugs 3 knocks the spots off the other one, but it's got 3 cells. That's why. And if you want to know whether it manually flips, I did a video on it as well for you. And all of them fly really nice and smooth as well. Lovely, really nice, lovely fly. Well, we just love flying, don't we? Okay, shall I pop the 2-cell on it? Give it a bit of a fairer test, really, I suppose. Now, the thing with it is it will just take a 3-cell, so it's designed for both. So you mustn't do this with any other quads that I know of. Well, there are other ones available, but you have to make sure that you definitely have one that will take 2 and 3 cells. So if not, you are going to be in trouble. Basically, you'll fry the board, which is called the power distribution board, or the printed circuit board, basically inside. If you're new to quads, that will be the one you will fry, and it will take just a few seconds of running your quad. You might not even get it in the air actually if you power it up, because the power is quite a lot of difference. Well, it's half the power again on top of what you were using before with the volts alone. So There we go. So there is a little cage that goes on here, but if I put the cage on I can't put this 3 cell on, so that's why I've done it the way it is. Now we are in high rates, that's good. Whoa! You see that? Though it's got the same pitch angle, it hasn't got the power. As you can tell, it's very docile in comparison. Still lovely to fly. I prefer it like this actually as a camera bird. But it just hasn't got that grunt, which you wouldn't really expect. So just a full, it's going to drop down. Whoa! So you can see we didn't have that with a 3. We were around the garden, we were actually running out of garden to do it with. And the recovery is not as good. And these are about the best props I've found with it. The Tigeritis ones really do work. I'll put a link down in the description for you. There we go. The nice thing about the bugs is if I kill the transmitter, which I've just done, within a second it will drop. So lovely. Excellent. That was great fun flying. And this thing's robust, isn't it? Actually, I've had this one in quite a few incidents. This one never seems to get into an incident. It's a very sort of clean, slick little quad that really always behaves itself. It never gets too anxious, and I've never had any issues with it either. And neither have I had any issues with the other ones, but they've definitely been through impacts quite a bit. If you look at the videos I've done on 3, there's some massive impacts. And this one, I don't think I've ever even dropped it to the ground. It's always really extremely well behaved. Whoa! Whoa! Hey, was giving it a little bit too much. I didn't recover the throttle quick enough. Whoa! There we go. Let's just hopefully that will kill. You're supposed to be killed. There we go. It'll be fine. That was damn good fun. My ones come with absolutely everything. I've got 2 batteries, I've got the goggles, which I'll show you in a minute, and I've got the LCD screen as well, and I've got a camera, obviously. Just pop that open. I love this design. Got your screen there, that just pops in there. And that's it, you're away then. I don't know if the camera will pick this up. Okay, one of my favourite things that I tend to do with a quad or carry is I do like shooting high quality stabilised video, and I've got loads of different camera birds that I can do it with, but I do like trying it on these different sort of things as well. I use the Wakira G2D gimbal. I absolutely love it. It's been with me through thick and thin. I had loads of accidents with it, and it just keeps bouncing back for more, so I cannot recommend this highly enough. There's loads of others out there. Just this is my channel, this is what I use. Had I started with something else, I might be full of that one. The other the camera I like is the Yi 4K. I really like that one, and this fits in here. You have to cut the end out of it, and then I just hold it on with elastic bands as per normal. It works fine. Sling it underneath the quad, or I've actually top mounted it on one quad, and that was no problem at all. I've also adapted it so that I can use it with this one as well, and I've had no problems with it whatsoever. It's worked really well, so you can use it with anything. But what I'm finally getting around to is the combination of that is just on 200 grams. So if a quad's going to be any good for me as a camera bird and using this really nice stabilised technique, I need to check it that it will carry 200 grams, no problem at all. And I actually have a 3000 milliamp hour 3-cell battery here, and this actually weighs virtually exactly the same as what this weighs. So this is always my test before I put the camera on, because I don't want it dropping and smashing my camera anymore, or my gimbal either. So what I'll do is just strap it onto each of these and just see how it carries the weight. You do have to be careful. You are really loading these quads up if you're starting to put this stuff on. Where they've got brushless motors, they should be able to cope okay, but it's the ESCs, which is basically the electronic speed controller, which controls the speed from the power distribution board to the actual motors themselves. They're the bit that tend to actually burn out. The motors don't tend to, that I've found anyway, but the ESCs are the ones that take the power. So if you're giving it loads of grunt all the time, you're likely to burn that or damage it, or the power distribution board can go as well. So you are putting a lot of weight on here. So I tend to fly sort of smooth and nice, because that's what I'm after. When I've got a camera on board, I'll want really good smooth footage. If I want to hair around and just have a play, I don't put the camera gear on. So that's the way I run it anyway. Okay, first up, because it's got the props on already, and I'm just going to test them all on the same props, because these props work really well, generally I find, on them. But the standard stock props are fine. These just give you a little bit better, I think. There's loads of arguments out there whether it does or it doesn't. So starting up with Bugs 3, basically, we'll just see how we get on. They're not too bad. Throttle's up, just above half, I would say. And like I say, it takes a lot more throttle to get it to recover, but that is a lot of weight for these little quads to carry. So, like I say, I'm a little bit careful with them, or try and be. I always start off careful, but it never usually stays that way. So just be careful with them, but that's got no problem at all carrying it. And yes, it does slow it down. It's bound to. It's a heck of a lot of weight there, and you have to. Your recovery is a lot less as well. Well, there we go. That sort of works pretty well. There we go, and you probably won't actually feel any heat on the batteries, on the motors, sorry, but it will be the ESC or actually the power distribution board that will be getting warm. And that was on the 2-cell. If I put a 3-cell on it, it gives it loads more power, and it carries it absolutely no problem at all, and I've done a complete video on doing that. Okay, on to the Bugs 8, 6, whatever it's going to be called, and this should lift exactly the same as the Bugs 3, because it's got basically the same motors and everything. I assume the power is all the same, but the fact it doesn't take a 3-cell might well be a difference. So we'll just see how we get on. I've not actually done this test with this one, so this should be interesting. I would say that's taking a bit more power. Yeah, it's definitely. I would say it's definitely needing more power to keep it level, but it's doing fine. And again, as a camera bird, it would be fine. Yeah. The other thing you do is you got to wear your battery out really quick, because of the extra weight and everything. No, I would say the Bugs 3 carries better than the 8 at the moment. Okay, and the final little test. See how we get on with this one. This feels really heavy now. I don't know, being the white, it always looks like it's a much lighter one. Well, it's actually handled it better than I thought it would do, actually. I mean, the motors are bigger, but I don't know how big the ESCs are. Whoa, that wind's really catching it. Oh, that wind's really strong. Well, it actually holds really well. I've got a low battery on here because I've been playing around with it and I know the battery's low, so well, that's actually holding okay. And that's full kick out, so you can see it's really, it's going to be a struggle. As you would imagine, it is just purely, you are sort of stressing it with the amount of stuff we're giving this. That's holding well on its GPS and everything, isn't it? Lovely. Superb. Yeah. Because the other option is to use a lighter camera, so this is obviously the weight of this combination. If I change it for this combination, you're just going to get a lighter. You don't have to have the gimbal, to be honest. If you fly smooth, you can do it without. So that would, then it would carry this no problem at all. But this is like a max weight I would put on something like this. If you want to use the gimbal and that, you have to have extended landing gear. So this fits on the Bugs 3, no problem at all. And I'll put links to these down the bottom. They're really cheap to buy, actually. And then you can clear that. I've never tried it with the Bugs 8. It's nothing I'm actually going to do, but there'd be a way of working it around. I mean, you could fix it actually into there, because you've got the plastic area you can grab hold of. This one would be a real problem. You'd have to extend somewhere or other on it, sort of thing. Personally, I don't even think I'd bother putting the gimbal on it. It's such a smooth little flyer. I think if you use the just the camera on there, it would be absolutely fine. But I've done the weight test anyway, so there we go. Certainly got the kick out of the 3-cell. Gee whiz, that thing goes. Okay, so which one's for you? Now, there is no better quad here. There is no, one of them isn't better than the others. There's no one that does everything. I have loads and loads of quads, and I don't have one that does everything I want it to do. It's impossible, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Perhaps if you know better, that's fine. We got this one, has GPS, and our GPS. I quite like it without, I quite like it with, so depends what sort of flying you're doing. The altitude hold can be very handy, but it can also be a pain if you want to descend fast. If we take the altitude hold off this, it sort of descends as fast as these then, so that's really nice if you want to get down and have some serious control. With the GPS on, it flies slower, and with the altitude hold it flies slower, sorry, with those two functions on, but you can turn them off, which is rather nice, so then that brings that in line with these. Performance wise, not noticing a huge amount of difference in these. There probably is slightly. The motors are supposed to be slightly bigger on this one, and these two motors on these two are absolutely identical, so these should fly the same and pretty much do on 2-cell. So but this one will actually take a 3-cell. It's the only one out of these three that can take a 3-cell, and what that does is give it a load more grunt. As you saw when I flew it around the garden, it seriously gets a move on. Yeah, it's great fun. It's not a racer. It cannot be a racer because it doesn't fly in Acro mode and it doesn't fly in Horizon mode, and these all fly in angle mode. So basically, pitch forward, it's pitching forward, let go, and it will just stop. With the GPS, it will actually more or less throw itself backwards to sort of put the air brakes on and stop. These ones, without the GPS on, so pitch forward, it's pitching forward, and they'll let go, it will literally come and level itself back out. So and they stop pretty fast in the sky. If it's not stopping quick enough for you, just pitch it backwards and it will, you know, that'll put the brakes on basically, and then obviously it'll start going backwards. When you let go of the stick, they will basically sit level. That's what they do. If you've got Horizon mode, what that does is when you pitch forward, it will pitch forward up to a certain point, and then when you get over sort of whatever point you've set it to, and you can usually set it up in software, it will then literally do a complete flip, and it will do the flip in any direction. So it will do it a forward flip, a right flip, a left flip, a diagonal flip, whatever. Once it gets to a certain point, it will then literally just go all the way around, and depending on how you've set it in the software, it will depend how quickly it does the flip, and you've got no control on how quick it does it. It will do it at a certain rate basically. If you've got it on a very slow one, you can sort of speed it up a bit, I've found, but that's Horizon mode. And then full Acro mode, which is what all the race guys use, is when you pitch forward, it's pitching forward, and then I let go of the stick, it will just keep on pitching forward. It will not stop like it does on angle mode or Horizon mode. Horizon mode also has self-leveling. You have to pull it back until you get it level, and then you have to let go of the stick because you've given it the command to stop, basically come up to that level. So there is no self-leveling. So if you crank the stick right over like that, it will actually do a complete loop. But if you go over a fair bit and it's at an angle like that, it will keep going until you recover it back, and that works it in any way. So there's no self-leveling on it at all. So if you put it at any angle, it will just keep going till it hits something basically, or you give it a command to do something else. So these cannot fly in Acro mode. None of them have that ability. This one comes with a camera, and it's a nice camera for FPV. The quality isn't absolutely great, I must admit, but then you wouldn't expect it. These are all built at price breakpoints, so this is, you know, you're not going to have a 4K camera on here for the price of what this costs. So. But you can adjust this one up and down. Neither of these other two come with cameras, but what you can do is add a camera to it. Now if you just want to fly FPV, you can put a little VTX1 on like this, and you can either pop it inside the Bugs there, or you stick it on the bottom or stick it on the top. It's entirely up to you. Same on here as well, just depends how much you want to play around. I personally just stick it underneath and that's absolutely fine. And I hold my cameras on with, this is actually anti-vibration padding, and some retailers sell it as yoga mats, which is what they sold it to my wife as, but I appreciated straight away that she'd actually bought an incorrect product, so I have helped her out by cutting it up into nice small bits. You can use packing foam, you can use a cloth, you can use anything just to take out a little bit of the vibration. That's all you're after doing. Just makes it just takes out that little vibration that you're getting from the actual quad itself. Get yourself a few elastic bands. That's the way I do it. You can velcro it on and do whatever you like. I elastic band them on. I find it better if it hits and it's got an elastic band, it will let go, so you tend not to rip everything to shreds, and you will have impact, I guarantee. Everyone does. The other option is to actually put on a decent camera, and I like this one. There's lots of other ones out there, and there's lots of better ones out there, and there's some lower grade ones as well, but I find value for money this one very good. It's the Hawkeye Firefly Q6. It shoots in 4K if you want, and all the other options as well. I've done a review on this, and I'll post it down in description for you. I just mount this under here, basically with a bit of anti-vibration or whatever you want to use underneath. Strap that on there. Couple of elastic bands around it, job done. There we go, we're away. Great. But this one has FPV on it as well, and by the way, this camera blows the doors off this camera, no problem whatsoever. So what you can do is you can add a FPV system to the Firefly. Simply just plug it in the back there, and then you've got a full FPV system here. Get rid of all your cables. So what I do is just wrap them around again up in a bit of elastic band, and I just literally put it on the back there, have the camera on the front there, job done. To connect it, the nice thing is you can actually run this and the Firefly from the actual battery with the CG035, and I've marked them up plus and minus, so I know exactly what's what, and just made a little adapter from a JST into this, and then I simply just plug it in, and then it will power up that. And obviously I get rid of all the cables. You will notice if you look around the channel, I'm not too worried about stuff looking great. I just want to get out and fly it, and I love the FPV things, but I strip them down and I'll fly this without any landing gear on it next time I fly it, or I'll have something else on it, so you know, it's entirely up to you how pretty you want to be with your quads. I use them for sheer indulgence, to be perfectly honest. So these two you can make up to have better FPV, well, equal FPV I would say, with this, probably even slightly better than this produces, and definitely better camera qualities. Onto the transmitters, and really no difference in using them. This one feels slightly better in the hand, I suppose, because it's got the wraparounds on it, and it's a more sort of shiny plastic. These are sort of a dull plastic, a matte plastic, sorry, not dull, it's just matte, and it doesn't have the wraparound. The size is slightly bigger on that one, but not an awful lot, to be honest. Both of them take, that was quite handy, both of them take 4 AA batteries. Just make sure you've got those when you order, because you won't get them with your actual quad. And obviously this one's GPS. This one does an awful lot more than the others on the GPS side, but it doesn't have the ability of the Bugs for a 3-cell on this one, and it doesn't have the camera obviously all built in. So really is your choice, absolutely down to you. Hopefully I've answered all your questions there. If there's any other questions, just post some comments. Yeah, let me see what you think, whether or not you want me to do some more sort of comparisons of things together and everything. That would be good. If you were going to give a thumbs down for any particular reason, still it's your prerogative, but just let me know why it was a thumbs down. It's just interesting. It's not a huge channel. I just love doing it. It's just my hobby, and I just like sharing it really on YouTube. It seems to work pretty well, and I thank all the ones that give me the thumbs up as well, and the ones that enjoy the channel. Cool. So let me know if there's any questions you've got on this, and if I can answer them, I certainly will. Just having the room to Bang! Whoa! It's having the room to recover. Wow, that was an impact and a half, wasn't it? Oh, would you believe I run out of signal? I tell you what, I'm not entirely convinced that has actually damaged it. And one last thing, if you think you're just going to buy one drone and that's going to be the end of it, you'll be the only one I've ever met who has ever done that. This hobby is addictive. You will wind up with a whole hangar full of these things, and it's great.